Welcome back to Third Phase Moon. Blake Cousins, we got a special report for you. We're on the road and we're discussing the phenomenon in regards to what people know what's going on above our skies. And we've got a lot of incredible videos for you. We've got Dark Hour Paranormal chiming in on a few of them. And we've got some incredible new ones just in via Jaime Maussan. Something fell out of the sky that can't be explained. Breaking news. Take a look at this, guys. Now let's roll the second angle of the phenomenon. Something lit the sky up. It came down from the heavens. What the heck is going on here? Some people might speculate that this is CGI or some kind of massive hoax. In my opinion, what we're looking at is something celestial in nature, but in the way it descends down, it really has a slow descent in speed. So what the heck could it be? It's not space junk or some kind of meteorite falling out of the sky. It's actually seems to be controlled in its descent. Right? What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We got two angles cooperating what we're looking at here, and it's pretty cool. We got the sun setting this perfect atmosphere to capture this phenomenon. This is pretty wild stuff right here.
It's really cool too when people are driving and they're just looking up in the sky. It looks like a beautiful sunset or a sunrise. I'm kind of guessing towards dusk here, but they notice something. They pull their camera out to capture this window of opportunity of something in the sky, bright red in hue. The color is very luminescent. Again, I'm trying to figure out what this is, guys. We're doing this in this live premiere. If you could leave us your comments, it really helps the algorithm because we're looking for the answers, and right now we don't have any for you. All we could say, this is pretty good stuff. Give us a big thumbs up. Now we ask Dark Hour Paranormal Michael Roser to go over some incredible videos in Third Phase's Moon archive. So watch this coming out of the Third Phase UFO Report channel.
What significance do these sightings hold? The governments want us to lap up a narrative of fear, claiming what traverses our skies unexplained are threats to humanity. While in militaristic senses their caution may be valid, the uncertainty still stems from what we fear the most, the unknown. With a bit of critical thinking and internal analysis, based on the benign behaviors of these unidentified crafts, the public is left to intelligently determine what it is we're witnessing. Let's begin with the first sighting of intrigue.
All right, so definitely this deserves our opinions because this mysterious light, whatever it is, seems to have landed and skidded into its position, and we're looking at its glory, the full frame captured by the opportunity. And this is amazing quality that we're looking at. And in my opinion, this is not lens refraction of light. This is something there. You could see that there is indication of some kind of debris that was brought up. Whatever this object was seems to have been the reason behind this skidding across the surface of the red planet. We're looking at it really close now, and it's incredible stuff. It is a strange light. Is it a spacecraft? Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Look at this thing. It seems to really reflect the light off whatever it is glimmering, and this kind of skid mark that we see here really indicates that it's there.
My initial thought when viewing this peculiar object is that it reminds me of a dolmen, an intentionally raised monolithic stone oftentimes observed in the remnants of our own ancient cultures. I'm not certain the object is as tall as one might assume on first glance, given there seems to be some sort of reflection in front. Perhaps this is just a mirage, knowing the contents on the surface are generally not reflective, and there obviously isn't any water around. Quite curious, though, are the horn-like protuberances at the apex. Perhaps this is an antenna of some sort? I'm sure the Eye of Sauron could fit snugly between, but I don't think that's what we're looking at here. Now, we know many of our satellites have crashed into certain celestial bodies. Could this be the wreckage of one pulled into the gravitational field of the planet? There does appear to be some skidding, as Blake has mentioned, as if the object was in motion when it hit the ground, but at the same time, the tracking doesn't seem too long or too deep. Two indications of measurement we can observe to decide how fast it may have been moving when it collided with the terrain. There isn't anything similar to the structure within the photograph, which spans some miles into the horizon. To say this object is anomalous is being quite lenient.
What is this? It seems like NASA's trying to hide, again, things on Mars. This will probably be scrubbed in no time soon. This is a good close-up right here. And we see kind of two, like, spokes at the top of this craft or vehicle. And then it seems like it has a support system at the bottom to hold this craft or whatever it is.
Absolutely. And there was some artificial intelligence done to some of the imagery to clear it up, clean this image. But now we're looking at 4 different images of the same light source. And at one point, it seems to be a figure walking away from this debris field or whatever it is. Amazing stuff, guys. What do you think?
Honestly, we have seen so many anomalous structures on our near celestial bodies, it's interesting when one stands out amongst the plethora we are aware of. Without a real reference point, it's difficult to discern exactly how large this object is, but I think we can certainly agree it's there within the environment. Perhaps the reflective property is a starring effect from the lens, as the light source stays the same within the 4 images, and yet we see something slightly different in each photo. I would be very curious to know if this object is still there and visible, but it may fade from our consciousness, as new anomalies accumulate on top of those now embedded in our history. Let's move on to the next sighting.
So the analysis on this video is that it's legit, and whatever was captured in Medellin, Colombia, earlier this year seems to be an incredible capture. We received this video today and we looked at it very closely, and whatever this pyramid-shaped object is, it's there and it's in the skies. This isn't no pyramid-shaped kind of thing that you would see by our military with their, bokeh lens effect. There's no bokeh lens effect happening here. This is an incredible thing, and we can see that whatever's up there, by watching this video, it's there. As he pulls away and as he zooms in, you can see that this would be pretty much impossible to fake. We're going to get a closer look at this object. This is incredible stuff. Bern, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, again, looking at this, look at that point at the bottom of this pyramidal shape that's pointing kind of downwards, which is interesting to say the least. Is this real? We've seen this kind of phenomenon of videos of these kind of large triangles over the Pentagon and even Russia that prove to be CGI representation. Is this real? And if indeed it is, we've got a good one here, guys.
Yeah, again, we're looking at it pretty closely, and I'd have to say this is legit. We did notice a small object below it. Could this be maybe just some kind of hot air balloon? And that's the gondola. That's a possibility. We're looking for the answers, and that's why we're posting these videos.
Though this triangular-shaped object may draw the images of a kite at first sight, it's much larger than anything we are aware of in a conventional sense. I've heard of companies sending blimps and other balloons into the skies to advertise, but I have yet to see an enormous kite performing the same function. The way the object seems to fade in and out may be light refraction or obscurification from the light cloud cover. The way we see it pass behind the power lines lends to the real possibility that the footage was not altered in any way, though one with enough determination may be able to produce something similar. In most cases, there are telltale signs that something was changed in post-production, and I am not seeing any evidence of that in this video. Looking closely, the object certainly appears to be three-dimensional, perhaps an inverted pyramid of sort. It also seems to be rotating ever so slowly, but the motion is observable. At perhaps a lower altitude than that which commercial airliners fly, there doesn't appear to be any explanation for its existence. Could this somehow be part of a larger unit we simply can't see? Once again, here is an object suspended in the sky for which we have no explanation. And with a slow, seemingly calculated rotation, it's probably as much of a threat as a turtle chasing you on any given waterfront. With the myriad of geometric shapes observed throughout history, with no visible means of propulsion, it stands to reason based on pattern that we will continue to see these shapes. There are some who claim to be able to see fourth-dimensional objects overlaid in the third dimension, and to that end, I have to wonder if some of what we see in respect to our skies may be a momentary observation of that exact theory. Now, moving on to the next sighting.
This is really odd. All these planes are following the same path. And they're not on the radar. Is that even a plane? Look at this. Wait, what the hell is that? And nothing's on flight radar. Any more coming? I've never seen anything like this.
This particular sighting interests me, as we can readily see how fast this object is zipping along. The trajectory seems smooth and calculated, unaffected by atmospheric disturbances. Curious to see it flying through or close to a handful of contrails, perhaps measuring what we put into the atmosphere, regardless of whether it is us behind the pilot seat or something otherworldly. The camera person's reaction seems genuine and confused, as one would expect someone to express when witnessing something they cannot explain. He mentions nothing is on the flight radar, so perhaps we can rule out some sort of conventional aircraft. Or, we have certain degaussing or cloaking technology implemented for select vessels exclusively, while the general public is not briefed on such phenomenon, peddling that divulgence may be a threat to national security. While there are times I do believe this to be true, many instances reflect a reluctance to share something only a few elite have access to. If our governments will give us transparency, we can put, very simply, any erroneous theory to rest almost instantly. Let's hear what Blake and Brent have to say.
All right, let's roll this video again. I'm slowing it down so we could get a closer look at this phenomenon of this craft that appears out of nowhere in the sky next to these lined up contrails. Right now you see this wispy object with some kind of smoky tail behind it. Is this some kind of celestial event or some kind of rocket, Brent? What's going on here? We're getting a really good look at it.
Yeah, this is a great submission right here. Take a look at this. This is a good close-up, and we're getting a fascinating look at this object, whatever it is. You see a spherical object kind of in the middle, kind of leading this trail behind it. It's rather wispy. It's hard to make out what kind of vehicle this could be. This is a good contrast right here, and it kind of gives this look of this thing just kind of banking along the trails that were left behind by some jets or whatever it is. This is a unique craft. I've never seen anything quite like this propulsion or technology. You don't see any wings or any of the sort. What we're seeing is something unexplained.
Yeah, is this organic or biological in nature, Brent? And when I added the brightness contrast to make this craft pop, what's strange is these chemtrails, obviously, contrails, whatever you call it. But then usually you see UFOs in accompanying to this phenomenon. So it doesn't surprise me when we see UFOs in these contrails. In the stacking of contrails, it's really cool because we get perspective of this thing in front of these trails left behind, moving at a pretty good rate of speed here, definitely. And we don't see any wings. Here again is the original footage, and we're bringing it up really close. And in my opinion, it almost looks like a shooting star, but it remains pretty consistent. It doesn't fizzle out, burn up in the atmosphere. This is something else. And as we're looking at it in slow motion, we could get some size and comparison, but we almost see almost a shadow underneath it as well.
Yeah, everything about this is weird. This is one of the best sightings of the month. I really like what we're looking at because people are not going to be able to identify what this is. I just like the way it screams across the sky, just kind of trailing the trails, the contrails or chemtrails, whatever you call it. You can see there's stacking of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What created this formation in the sky in the beginning? I do like the people on the ground that they didn't know what they're capturing, and they're still wondering what this is, and that's a big question.
People have often commented that when we have full disclosure, being optimistic in their assessment of the future, those who research and report the field of ufology will be out of a job. But I would beg to differ. If we were to gain full disclosure, this would only open another set of questions, spiraling into every avenue of our history within the field. There will never come a day wherein we can comfortably say we know everything there is to know, and therefore, we can only ascertain certain principles and truths as we move forward, together.
That's right, Michael. We're all in this together. The phenomenon isn't some kind of copyright, some kind of ownership. We're all part of disclosure, and we're trying to find out the answers. We're asking the big questions. If you haven't seen, we recently had Tim Burchett, Congressman. We asked him the big questions, and he had a lot to say, so make sure you check that out in the Third Phase of Moon archive. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. Be safe. Blake Cousins. We'll see you next time.